Live and in color. See what we got. See what we got. Um, we're gonna be doing a live thing tonight. Appreciate everybody coming through. Let's see if we can get this thing going on. Setting up shop tonight. Let's see what we got. Can put this thing down. And we're coming to you live today. Hold up. What's up? What's this say right here? What this mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Why would somebody post such a thing like that? Why? Why would you do that? You come on and this is how you introduce yourself? Yeah, it is do or die tonight. I was thinking about you yesterday because we were on here yesterday and you didn't show up. I was wondering where you were yesterday. I thought maybe you went alien on me. I understand. It's tough to face that L. We were talking about you yesterday. Me and Jay Will were on here talking about you yesterday. I said, I wonder how Riches take what's going on. I tried to tell you it ain't the same without Steph. But the thing is that I'm holding this on Steve Kerr. Kamingas is a revelation. It's still how's it disappointing? You didn't really think you were gonna go to the finals, did you? I told you that a few weeks ago. You didn't really think they were going to the finals. They did. They stole the first game. They're not equipped to battle in a team like that. Who's stopping Julius Randle? And if Anthony Edwards plays with consistent, I didn't like it. I thought that they expended too much against Houston. Think about it. If Jalen Green had half a pulse and they get at least 12 points out of him, you don't win that series. I told you before, the old cats. There's an era right now. It's coming undone. Now, if Steph gets his, you know what? I'm gonna play GM for you. You want to play GM? I'll play GM. If Jimmy Butler was in Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell, that's a scary squad. And if you could get Giannis to Golden State, that's a scary squad. See, you gotta be some maneuvering. But this situation that I see right now, that's not cutting it. That's not cutting it. Jimmy needs to be with someone that's on the come up, but enough that that's balanced. But Golden State is too old. It's good in theory, but you got to have another piece. You got to have another guy that can create. Buddy Hield is too inconsistent. Draymond, you might not get that in another week of what he did the other night. That was a waste because he's been down this road before. He's never gotten past the second round. And this was probably the first time where, it looked like he'd been questionable as a superstar. People are saying, will he ever break through? And it was the same results. He's seen as a regular season. When Shaq asked him, said you weren't a superstar to him in Utah, he just hasn't gotten over the hump. He stat padded good this pro season. He averaged 30 plus a series, but he didn't get the team involved. They did not finish up. They blew three leads at home. Of course, it's gonna fall on your shoulders. How do you blow three home game losses and get blow? And you no, never. I did a video today, and I basically said he's got all the makings of a Paul George. That's kind of how I see it. I don't see him as a number one option. But I tell you something, if he does his DeRozan routine, if he can go line up with I could get Donovan Mitchell with. If I was the Nuggets, I might consider getting him if I could get him, or somebody like that's got a superstar. You put him with an alpha, and he will look scary. That's what I keep telling you. This is what you see cats get exposed. I think they got out coached too because Rick Carlisle made some adjustments and they got out coached. And they had no hustle. And when they couldn't make those threes, they were just stuck. They were complacent because they had injuries, but they don't have the depth they thought they had. Indiana exposed them. Indiana is a dangerous team. I did a thread in here about a few weeks ago. I remember I did a thread. I said, "Are they a dangerous team?" So you can take it how you want. So when I use the terms Cleveland Cavaliers frauds, it's because they won all those games and now they're done, and it doesn't look good. Thank you. What's up? What's up? Okay, we good now. Good, 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 good. Thank you for coming through. Good. Yep. Because Michael Porter Jr. ain't hitting on nothing. He barely scored more points than all three of us on here right now combined. And Aaron Gordon had 13. He's been carrying them. Just don't think the kid was or never was. That's the problem. I just don't think he's got that it in him. Think he good. If you're getting paid that kind of money, you can't come out there and score no 3 points. And he is a waste. He's to me, he's a bigger version of Klay Thompson. He can shoot. Like if you ever seen him shoot, but he he's so erratic. He's just inconsistent. And they don't have a lot of room for error because they bench it that good. Isn't this why they got rid of Mike Malone to finish out games? And They've choked these last two. They've lost in two different ways. They can't finish. So they need to make some major overhaul. They need to make some changes. But they don't deserve to beat OKC. If OKC wins this series, they're going to be hard to beat because they were definitely. I heard about that. I'm going to do a video about that. Thank you for reminding me about black fatigue. I'm going to do that. That's the only thing I didn't do. I did so many videos that I was working on. I'm going to talk about black fatigue. It's really hilarious. I saw a clip of it last night with some woman going, crying and stuff. I was like, shut up. Just shut up. Talk about black fatigue. That means they want you out the country, and that's what Trump has been working on. But the problem is, it's not going to go as easy as that. It's trying hard though. That's a term. Oh, that's his shot though. He rehearses that. That's his footwork. That's as close to Barishnikov and Gregory Hines and Savon Glover and Sammy Davis Jr. that he gets. That's his footwork. That's Jokic in the nutshell right there. He'll shoot that thing. That's what he can do. He's waxing Chad, but the problem is that he's getting worn out because they make you put the ball on the ground. OKC plays at such a tempo that he can't dictate, and when his shots ain't falling, again they are limited. So that's one of the things. Thank you, Ted, though, for that one. That's gonna be my video reminder. I'm gonna definitely put that one out because it is a real thing. We ain't gonna even talk about the kind of fatigue we didn't had to experience over the year. But no, Joker's got shots for like that for days. No, that's why I don't like the Olympics at all. I don't because the when come back and give them a gold medal, I'm like Ali, throw that thing in the water. Don't give them nothing. Don't give them nothing because they don't treat us like them. Zubas made him get physical, and I think that kind of wore him. He got him in his chest because he made him have to pound. That's all you. But you got to have centers to do that. Yeah, he's still an incredible offensive scoring juggernaut when he can shoot the top of the key, but he ain't throwing them dimes though. He ain't getting all them triple doubles, so he's having to give up something. And because they don't defend well, they got Lou Dart went off, Williams went off, say SGA fourth quarter, they caught him. They wore him down. Because they can't play half court basketball because they're not equipped. That's the nutshell of Denver right there. They're not a half court team. If they don't beat you with pizzazz and they don't wear you out with long shots and quick breaks, they're not cut. That's why his peak and his prime is gonna come with an asterisk. It's gonna be a one man situation. It's not gonna be where the team was because the team underachieves. For all that size is overrated. They don't know how to use it. They're in a lot of trouble. I hope the OKC finishes them off too. Cause Denver ain't doing nobody no favors. Baseball Barry Bonds, yo. Basketball? Oh god. Ooh. Boxing for one? I probably bring back Ali. Basketball? I would probably say basketball. I'll probably give you that for basketball. Because he was something to see. He did. Begrudgingly though. But he did. He covered all the corners, and he actually played off of it better because he had to because of playing with Shaq and with Gasol. That's the part that doesn't get mentioned because he needed a big. Jordan's thing was more shooting over, and they were setting back doors and screens, and so he would shoot. He turned on Kobe because Kobe was hard headed. He wouldn't listen. He wasn't allowing the game to be simplified. Jordan was willing to listen, play within the context, and also he was able to coach and command. Kobe didn't get that until he got older, and Kobe went with it recklessly, but his approach, he tried to do too much. Does it shock or surprise you? Does it shock or surprise you? That should show you how they feel about you. That tells you all you need to know right there. See, this is this caring behavior where it causes and the effect, and yet somehow still gets to play victim, but yet to cause the situation. That's the sad reality of what we're dealing with. And then people wonder why there's division and decision because this kind of behavior has been rewarded. That's exactly why. And then they run behind Trump or they run behind. You may have had a car, but you know, when you're going to work and it costs money, you ride the bus. Makes no difference if you have a car or not. There are a lot of people have cars and motorcycles and other things. They still catch the bus because it was cheaper. What's happening, Xavier Perez? Thank you for coming through. It makes no difference what your mode of transportation is if you catching the bus. Bottom line is you don't get discriminated against and told not to ride. But you know, Rosa Parks was not the first to do it. There was another black woman, but they had that they fit a certain profile. Found that out a long time ago. But discrimination, discrimination. Doing all right. How you feeling? Glad to have you in here. Thank you for coming through. We just talking about different topics. We going on different things, so feel free to, we just keep it cool and respectful, but we going on. But back to what you said. Yeah, Kobe. Phil did get upset with him. He ignored a lot of stops. He was hard headed. He had attitude. I seen a few games where he quit on the Lakers. Touche, touche. Exactly. That's how I feel. Did you think he was gonna come back like Paul Pierce? Or did you think he was gonna magically come back in the wheelchair? He went down. He lost his ankles. Got up under him. It's gonna be a 6 month process. Yes, I feel the same way too, Xavier. For real, same way. Much respect on that. Yeah, he went down bad, and but they still should be able to win the game tonight. Jalen should be able to pull it. They should have enough to win the game. They should. They got to play with some character. They're gonna be mad at themselves that they blew 3 games, especially 2 at home, and especially being the champs and what they went through. So, but I expect major changes in Boston next year. They have to reshuffle. That's what they've been wanting to do. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. The same to you too. And feel free to come by whenever, man. Appreciate you coming through. I think Jalen is the odd man out because they can get more pieces for him. Mhm. And he's not happy with his situation. They're not a dynamic. They're like a law firm name, but they don't really dominate like they should. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Wouldn't be surprised. Appreciate you, Xavier, man. Thanks for coming through. Yeah, of course I do. I think he is. I'm a Yankees fan. Most of them are either drunk or they try to leap for a ball that they can't catch and they not coordinated. Yes, I'm a Yankees fan. They lost to Seattle last night, and he's not Walton or Miami. Because if I'm smart, why would I trade him to in the same conference? I trade him out west. I trade him for. I probably trade him to Houston. Have him go back with Yadoka. There you go. Thanks, Ted, for letting me play GM. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you on here because I get to play GM. My GM hat came on ASAP. Thanks, Ted. There you go. Go to Houston. If I hated Jalen Brown, I'd trade him to Portland. If I hated him, or New Orleans or something like that. But if I got some love for him and I'm the Celtics, trade him to Houston, which would be a scary fit. And I think that's exactly what Houston could use. Yeah, but who you gonna give up? Who are you gonna get in return? See, does Denver have anything that they want to get? That's the thing. That's the thing. Would they have anything they want to give up? So if you trade them there, you got to have pieces that make sense. And I don't know if they got anything that would make sense. I don't know. Yeah, baseball. People go to baseball games sometimes. They go to try to dive for a ball, and they be all over the place. And it's fixed. What you mean? Thought? Did you watch my video? You didn't watch my video. You didn't watch my video. I did it all in the video. I said this mess was just as fixed as the New York Knicks when they got Patrick Ewing, which I remember just like yesterday when Dave DeBusschere was in there. Stuff be fixed. LeBron even talked about it with Cleveland. It's fixed. No, good and well, the Dallas Mavericks were just as shocked as we all were. But then that's an Adam Silver production. For anybody that thinks that weasel, well, that happens at any sporting event. If anybody thinks that weasel ain't got David Stern DNA on him, he might act soft on some things. He ain't soft on everything. That was a David Stern move all the way. They wanted the Lakers to get something they did this on purpose. And Miko was getting talked about crazy, so this was of course it was fixed. Yeah, they always do. That's nothing new. Drink too much beer and all kinds of things, and be fighting too. Because you ever seen the Dodgers and the Giants? They be throwing nutties. The Great White Hype. And is it by accident that they just so happen to have three straight white name brands that you go from Dirk, Luca, and now Flag? Think about it. And the flag in Dallas, America's team. Think about all the symbolism. Think about it. Think about it. This stuff ain't by accident. Oh, so the Dodgers and the Giants? Wait, what was it in? Was it in Giant Stadium? Yeah, they was throwing they throwing nutties up there, yo. They was getting at it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You ain't seen that? Dodgers and Giant fans be crazy. Mhm. Baseball fans be like that for real though, cause there's real rivalries like Cubs and the White Sox. People take that stuff seriously. They take that stuff serious. South side, north side, it's real. You know. So, but yeah, not as much as it was. Not. It's not the same. It's not the same. Oh, Grant Hill, yo. Grant Hill. Then Brandon Roy, because Brandon was a favorite. Y'all mean needed to put some weight on his behind, and he was just not utilized in the right way. Just like online conversation, nothing that was heavy, nothing that was heavy. But when they won, I said I don't want to hear no more talk about no evil empire because Theo Epstein and they had won all that, so nothing like that. Yeah, Grant Hill easily because he was he had a chance to be next level. Brandon Roy was the dude. He was the dude that Damon Lillard would never be, but Damon got the better stats because he stayed healthy. That's all. Y'all just need to put some weight on, and y'all had to work on his game. His footing, and he got beat. And again, he had a slow paced style. That's the dude right there. And he was starting off to a good season. I did a video about him. That's a woulda, coulda, shoulda. And believe me, They wanted to make him make Bonds seem like a nightmare for him. I'll kid you not. They love some Mike Trout, but can't stay healthy, yo. Can't stay healthy. If he was healthy, he'd be about 520, 30 home runs right now. He definitely have a chance at 600. But it's almost a wrap. I can't see him playing more than 2 or 3 years because he can't stay healthy. And the Angels are still the Angels. They can't pitch worth nothing. So Rich, you asked me about baseball, so I'll tell you real quick. Yeah, the Angels had that talent. They had some of the best talent the last 20 years. Got the one ring. How they beat the Giants, I still don't know. But they underachieved with what they've had. Think about it. They had Trout, Shohei, Garrett Anderson, and Albert Pujols, and somebody else that was one of the pitchers, and they really didn't really get it. So I'd say an underachieving team. I'd say, but injuries is part of the game. You get hurt. That's unfortunately. That's a good question that you asked, Rich. Though that was a good question. Good thing that you mentioned Brandon Roy because a lot of people don't give Brandon Roy his due. But Grant Hill would have been that dude. Would have been that dude. Oh, Cree. You talking about Cree? Cree. Yeah, I think I saw some video about that with her. She was messing with Common a long time ago, the rapper, and she was bumpy. You know, just because you in Hollywood and you made a couple dollars, you made a film, don't mean everybody try to snatch you up. Oh yeah, I saw a video on her, but I didn't. I don't touch everything. And I know Tracy Ellis Ross had done some stuff. I mean, some of them do it by choice. I can't really. All I know is that there's a few things that come to mind. Some of them got turned out by some cats, and then they end up home teaming it, and then they went into an alternative situation, and then they just kind of said they just went, and then when they didn't get no more roles, and they couldn't get invited to no Diddy parties or they didn't partake in stuff, then nobody would touch them. I'm just gonna keep it 100 on that. That's a section that I don't really put out in video because respect for people's privacies and stuff. But you see a lot of attractive women and so on and so forth in that industry. But if they don't get, they may have a baby or something with somebody, but if they don't get, because cats be running game, because people be trying to share everything, and then that's how it go. Cree was a nice looking woman though back in the day. I mean, she's still cool, but cats ain't nobody trying to go that way. Mm-mm. Not them Hollywood cats. I did a video about him. Charles Barkley was the one that alluded to. I think that's what got my video because Charles Barkley. Oh yeah, come on now. He grinning. He been taking them blue pills. That turkey done lost his mind. She got him. She got him dancing all and down the stairs, looking all sideways. They were Rod Parker. Them talking about she get fired. You Carol. They think he should get fired from Carolina. I mean, he. I hope he don't do nothing stupid. But After all those years of that facade of being all cold and stoic. Yeah, yeah, because she probably be doing things in that locker room. Hmm. Bill got to do a whole lot. Talking about she didn't know who he was on the airplane. I bet he do. I bet he do. Until he got to wake up the next day and he got to sleep it off because he's tired. Made me think about that Hugh Hefner situation. I don't know if you ever heard at the Playboy Mansions. Them chicks said that he was like what? He was Samson at night and he was grandma by day. Because it's a federal case. Federal doesn't allow that. It's the difference between the yeah, because the girls at the Playboy Mansion said that Hef was like granny in the daytime. He had to sleep all day. You be taking all that pills and partying and drinking, and put your dentures in, and you be dancing in a circle. Cats be living beyond their means, and he be heavy drinking all that, And Bill be yeah. Federal case, state cases are different. That's why they have the etch and sketch. They got Diddy looking old and broke down. It's gonna be an interesting case though, because I'm gonna tell you something. Cassie's probably the most important witness they got. But if they break her in any capacity, any kind of, then he's got a loophole. Oh, I know he is. I know he is. And Robert Kraft is too. Because Belichick probably vowed he'd never get caught out there. And he was all stern and stoic. And it's sad too, because this dude get old and crack up like that, get played too. About to get played. And see, what makes it so bad. Yeah, well, who gonna touch him? Who gonna touch him? Who gonna touch him? He was so arrogant and stuck with Mac and Cheese Jones. How did that end? You remember Wiles on Fox talking about how much he liked Mac and Cheese Jones? How did that end? You ain't gonna touch him. He does like Josh Allen a lot. And he likes Lamar Jackson too. Ain't gonna touch him. Let me tell you something, and I'm gonna keep it 100. Let them white folks done wash their hands of him in the NFL for now. Let me tell you something. If they had love for him as close as he is to breaking the record, don't you think they break? You think I don't know the elephant in the room? You think I don't see the elephant in the room? They don't want him having that record. This reads loud and clear. They said we're gonna let you get away with what we did because we destroyed the tapes and all that, but you ain't getting no. I'm telling you. I said either Cincinnati or San Francisco. I think Joe Burrows would definitely benefit the cool in the pocket style. Of course, the 49ers style, if they had a quarterback they depended on, those are two best spots he could go to, especially with teams that have been to the Super Bowl. And they just need someone who knows how to finish the layering of it. But I don't know. I mean, like I said before, he burned bridges, yo. He burned bridges. And no one's going to touch him. No one's going to touch him. They pretty much figured that they got to get some more weaponry. That's not a bad move. It's not bad. I mean, that's how the NFC North is anyway. It's more about stacking your offense up. So that's what, because remember, you had three teams that won, what, 11, 12 games? So, yeah, you got firepower over there. Now, what you going to do? But I don't know how good your division is. I know your division's got teams that can win a lot of games. I don't know how good your division is, though. The video that I did? cause I got into it. Jay Will was on here yesterday, and he was asking me. He said, "You'd be more excited because you're a big Jordan fan." I said, "Look, I don't know why y'all getting excited. He's not going to do anything that's going to be a lightning round. You an elephant in the room to sit there and bash LeBron James. You're not gonna do that. He's not Charles Barkley. He's got a brand to protect. He's a corporate man. He'll say some stuff on the slide, and if you know how to read between the lines in the room, but he can't go on there and say, "Oh, he can say what he could do and give some advice, but he can't. If he does that, he'll be first of all look very mature and like he's being petty, which he is, but it's not gonna be the way people think. People act like he gonna come out of retirement and put shoes on. That's what they hoping because they having their childhood flashback. Well, he probably will have something. If I know him, if it's anything like that Hall of Fame speech, it'll be something that only Jordan would do. I don't want to see no MJ LeBron segment. There's nothing to discuss. Two different players, two different eras, and it doesn't really have relevance because they both approach the game in different ways. So this is like night and day. Oh, you know how he did the Hall of Fame speech. Have you ever seen his Hall of Fame speech? Me and my homeboy were dying. I said he was so petty. He said, and the guy who beat me when I was in fifth grade, and I see you, Pat Riley, and what you did to me. He was, I mean, he was so petty. But that was Jordan, though. Petty to a T. That's what cracks me up. How people love him. I understand why they love his game, but how they love him because he is a petty one. He is not likable at all as far as personally. Are you kidding me? I think that's part of the reason why I don't be gung ho about him like some others. I hate to say it, but that is part of his game. It's one of the problems I did have with him because he's so petty and petty in ways that he's just so smug with it. You know, I mean, I say he's one of the greatest players ever. But when you have these debates with people, they also take consideration the shoes and all the merch. And I said, look, as great as he was, he did shuffle, but he told Clyde Drexler, "You got to know how to play the game." That was his direct quote. He said, "You good enough as me. You should play the game." He said that to Clyde. Clyde, a country brother, and Clyde does middle of the road. Of course, Jordan shuffled big. Come on, man. You think that baseball career was for real? You think David Stern wasn't in love with him? How you think he get that money? How you think that merch comes up at that? So I'm gonna say it like this to you the best way I know how. You came along where you saw black superstars. You saw Shaq and Kobe and Dwayne Wade and LeBron. You saw that, right? You got to see that at your 10. You know, they had tape delay when I was watching ball. Bird and Magic were like lethal weapon, and they were buddy cop, good cop, white cop, black cop, right? Jordan comes along, Spike Lee, the shoes, the whole nine, and he had the hype, and he was, people like must see and what he was doing, but he had the hype. So I remember watching Home Alone, the first one, and with Macaulay Culkin, there's a scene in there where the Michael Jordan cardboard was going through the hallway. Now Isaiah Thomas had won rings, they hadn't won nothing, and they had the Jordan cardboard cut out. If you watch Home Alone one, that's how big he was already, because he was the dude that they was pushing. And that's no knock. I'm just keeping it 100. But anyway, um, yeah, they all do it though. He ain't the only one. Because if you get commercialized by the NBA plantation, what you think? I mean, think about it. Magic grinned and ha 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 ha. Kareem didn't, and that's why Kareem didn't get no love. Think about it. LeBron does it, and they all do it. The ones that get the calls and all that. Think about it. They push an agenda. The ones that are considered like that. Even Iverson's so-called street appeal was commercialized. That's the one that you get called a cap on because no one's gonna want to hear you say that one. That's the one. Because he was supposed to be the anti-Jordan hero. Even though all the soccer moms I knew loved him. What's happening? How you doing? I told you I'm gonna come on early today. I remember what you said, and I'm here for another hour. So thank you for coming on. Glad to see you today. Hope you're feeling all right. I got your message because when I'm going out in an hour. So, but yeah. But I'm not saying that everybody that's corporate and blows up is tapping, but a lot of them do. Just keep in mind, 90% of them do. 95. In sports, if you're great and they put money on you, they got expectations. It's just like the music bit. They all industries like that. Acting, it's all the same. If they see something there, if they don't see nothing there, then you have to earn it. I saw that. I didn't touch it. Some stories I touch, some I don't. He's on the books. He probably got too comfortable in there. Gotta remember you doing time. I saw that mess. I'm not touching it. I like Jada Kiss as a rapper, but I'm not touching that. If he's doing anything with Fat Joe, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. You can tell me give me the cliff notes. I'm not watching that mess. I like Jada. I don't like Fat Joe. You know how I feel about Fat Joe. You know how I feel about Fat Joe. Fat Joe is just like Michael Rappaport and Bill Maher and Vlad. You know how I feel about Fat Joe. Oh, snitch. Overrated rapper, too. Because he's feds. And he loves saying the N word. And I like what she said about the Democratic thing, though. She said two things that I agree with. She said that about her when she clapped on Trump about the IQ, and when she said about the Democrats getting a safe white dude to run. But the other stuff I don't be messing with at all. Well, most politicians are fake though. That's nothing new. It is a marketing. You do realize if you get to be in Congress or you get a platform and they know who you are, they put money on you. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. What talent does she have? But she got hyped up. They put money on them. Politicians are no different. It's like a Miss America pageant or rap. It's the same old plantation auction block. We just don't think of it like that. I don't know if she is in the sense that I haven't really seen any money put on her where she's been compromised no more than Trump has, no more than Ortiz. You know Ortiz, the Puerto Rican one that I mean, you know what I'm talking about from the Bronx. I mean, they all get compromised if they get it now. You know, I think if I see her at the oh, you want to send a super chat? Let's see. Any good questions? Let me put this on. So if you want to, yeah. Well, again, I mean, you know how it is. There's a lot of acting. He may have. I mean, she still belonged to him. She does. First of all, she took that kind of money, so you bought and paid for. Sorry, if you take that kind of money, you ain't gonna get over that guy no time soon. Your whole existence, you bought and paid for. And I did a video, so if it's out, if my video's out. I said they could come back and Al Capone her. They could get her for tax evasion. So she better be careful. That's what you want. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. The Knicks gotta go through the Pacers. I don't know. That's going to be kind of. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not sold on them like that. The Pacers are the most dangerous team. I think they're in the playoffs because they can score. Rick Carlisle has this kind of experience, and they second straight year, and no one talks about the Pacers. And Halliburton is balling, so I don't know. Well, the problem with them is that they didn't finish the season that strong. But the bottom line is going from Miami to Indiana was like night and day. Well, if you blow 3 games at home, Cat's effective. But if you want the real story, OG is gonna be the X factor. They gotta have the others step up against the Pacers. Yeah, you told me about Cat, but how about Julius Randle? Who saw that? He's looking good too. He's looking good. The Thunder can finish this series off. They should. Let me address that. Golden State, I'll give you. Cleveland, Boston, they mentally are bankrupt. Cleveland just got hit in the mouth and couldn't hold a lead, and they got this pseudo that we because what we did, and they didn't respect their teammates. Boston got arrogant and blew games and took it and just thought this one way of playing. And so there's difference. Golden State, I'd say that more than the other two. Cam Ward, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna just say it like this. I look in the bushes. So I'm looking for what a team like because you know who? Pittsburgh always gets a diamond. They catch a cat that you don't expect. Can't really go by anything on the front. It's gonna be something that you didn't see that's gonna trick you late. But Tomlin tends to they tend to get draft picks guys play up. I saw that. I saw that. That's why I'm giving Cam some love. That's exactly why I went there. I don't really get into the draft too much again because again, it don't really tell me nothing until I see who you play with. I don't know. I saw some cat that they were interested in, but I don't know. But Tomlin will have somebody there. You know, if they can get their customary 9 wins, he gets his 500 season and get their butt roasted in the first round if they make it, something like that. But with decaf, that's gonna be interesting with DK. You know, man, that's gonna be interesting. But the problem with them is you're the third best team, and you know it. You are because you ain't got no Joe Burrows and you ain't got no Lamar Jackson. Going in knowing you're the third, but Tomlin makes that team pop and jump now. So we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. I don't really get into it because again, like I said before, it take time to What makes you say he wants out? Because they suck, or they getting too corporate for him? I well, if Aaron Rodgers ain't there and then he's stuck with slurping LeBron, I'm sure he would want out. He sure got a lot of mileage out of being so mediocre, though. I mean, really, because I don't really see the hype with the cat. They like those kind of cats that they sit there and they give them money and they say, okay. I think he corny though. Well, yeah, because you're on corporate TV and what you gonna want to say, and you're not gonna get a better form for you because you're not that charismatic. What's he gonna say? Yeah, because the one dude that hosts that show early in the morning with the bald head one, and he's corny too. So him and McAfee could be good boring cats. Meathead, the meatheads. Yeah, I don't be getting it though. I don't know. I don't really get excited about none of that stuff because I mean, after a while, you see one, you see another, and there's not really, they're not that. He's not that entertaining. They can shows drip dry. Did you see my video? Because I called him Hulk Hogan. Yeah, I did my video already. I went in on him messing with Shelton Benjamin. I went in already. You saw my video. I put 2Ks. I put three. Hulk. I took care of that one already. That's why I put the extra Ks for him. You go sit his behind down, Terry Bozzio, whatever. Go sit your Balinese butt down somewhere, slurping on Trump. Just a bitter old turkey. Ain't got nothing going on. It's a shame you get old and the cat ain't got nothing going on. You can't get away with what Vince McMahon get away with, what Trump get away with, but you want to. And I know it probably tears your behind up. You got to do a black job behind the rock. Ain't that tough? Black job came and just left your butt behind. Oh, he been wearing that. That's not new. It's been like that for like 25, 30 years. He just never comes up in conversations. That's because the long hair sold his imagery. And with the trunks and the blonde and the beach blonde and the surfer boy. If you remember Matthew McConaughey, what was that movie? Matthew McConaughey did. Oh, I can't even think. It came out back in the 90s because it was before you were born. But Matthew McConaughey had that surfer boy thing, and that's where Hogan like that all thing. And back when Nicolas Cage was a surfer boy, all that surfer boy stuff. That's what's up. Oh yeah, well she's had self esteem issues. That's why she gone through her body weight, her music career. It's a lot of stuff that she didn't gone through. You can almost tell she gonna have a breakdown. Hey, it makes business sense though, because Dwayne Johnson knows a three or four things about how to make money. So you know he know how to make money. You ain't gotta be in love with nobody, but if they know how to, if they can fatten your bank account, you'll sit there and you'll say, "Cool." I kid you not. Put away your differences and say thank you. So I don't think he's gonna be complaining. You look like an idiot if you're complaining too much. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you know who that's geared for, and they targeting in different ways they've done. They find more ways to Target and that's not a surprise. Everything is Target and profile. Everything is the new blackface. I haven't seen the new schedule. I haven't. I just be concerned with my Bills who we play this year, which division the Bills get. But I haven't seen it. I wonder who's gonna have the toughest schedule though. I wonder which team. I wonder what they're gonna do with Kansas City. I have never had anyone say whiteface because it's always been blackface. What I know, but they just gonna call it cosplay. That's all I catch. Well, Arnell, let me know about the NFL schedule. Who was the? I have to look at it. There'll be some situations I'll be curious about. It's something that I get excited about when I do my football. Is it in Dallas or is it in Philly? Oh, yeah. Well, I ain't seen a lot of black folks necessarily doing it. Oh, tear Dallas behind up then. That's gonna be interesting to me. Yeah, well, because she's an artist. She's an artist, and you gotta remember, as an artist, you perform. Now, your personal feelings is two different entities, but she's dealt with weight issues. She's dealt with personal issues, so she's not saying anything that I haven't heard. It's all a show. Well, it is if you help. First of all, there are people who are healthy who don't live as long, and people who have weight. It all depends on the cards you dealt, hereditary, so many different things. There was nothing wrong, but she was a tacky turkey. I still remember when she gyrated in Staples or crypto for Cat when the Lakers played Minnesota. She left a lot. You hope they will be. You hope. You hope. Dak better stay healthy though, because if Dak get hurt, who gonna throw the ball to him? Philadelphia's gonna tear y'all behind up. I'm gonna tell you that now. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're gonna get ate up. You know how it's gonna end. It got so bad last year, the Cowboys were done by half the season. Stop even wasting time talking about them after week 8, and they still had 10 games to go. I think this might be Dak's last year in Dallas if he stinks it up. But the problem is that Trey Lance didn't work out at all, and they don't have anything else coming through the pipeline. So, all right. Appreciate everybody coming through today. It's been good so far. The comments are good. Mm. Yeah, they just show she's saying that the person saying, why do these people put the celebrities on the pedestal for like? I think that because show business used to mean something. People used to love the escapism, but now everybody's all on it. Everybody's got a camera. Everyone's got access. So there's nothing to get the celebrity aspect is not the way it once was. There was a time you lived to hear what somebody famous was doing, but now, as time has gone on, people are very ordinary. In some cases, they're worse than you can even imagine. But it's just that they have costume and makeup to cover up their flaws. So that's what's up. But see, she talks a lot like she's deep. I think people think that because you're rich and yep, because money somehow makes people seem like they have this over grandiose thing, they grandiose, and they have grandiose ideas. They just as flawed and has just as problems as you can imagine, if not even worse. You gotta remember something. You gotta remember something. You get paid to put on a show. So no matter what, you gotta put on a show. And if you're a creative minded person, you're getting paid that to use your brain to have hits. And sometimes you gotta do stuff you don't want to do. And sometimes you gotta go to Diddy parties or get ran through or go through stuff that you don't really feel good with. But hey, you wanna blow up, you gotta do something strange for the change. And in sports, same thing. PR relationships. Oh yeah, Ted. Guess who I saw? Was it at the Knicks game? It was Cardi B and old Stephon Diggs. Yeah, I heard enough about Stephon out here in these streets. So this is what happens. Yeah, you didn't know they messing around. That's been out for a minute. Now I heard Stephon been doing some starbursting, so I don't know. That's what I heard. And that story came out. You heard about the starburst with Stephon? And he left Houston after only 1 year, so I forgot where he went now. He was a problem in Buffalo. I mean, I understood some of it, but some of it he just was him dropping balls and stuff. Yep, and they doing it. Yeah, well, he ain't gonna do nothing there. I do like that cat they got. He's an okay quarterback, but they got a lot of work to do. Oh yeah, it is. Auction your behind up. Mm-hmm. What's happening? How you doing? What's up? Yeah, he burning bridges because I'm like, yo, you were just a top flight receiver. Now you're on your what, fourth different team or some mess? You should have stayed in Houston. Thanks, Tia, for that. I don't know how much he's worth. I don't know how much he's worth. I know one thing: the smart man don't be broadcasting their business. I know he don't be putting music out no more, hardly. And I know he took a hit from this whole situation about these allegations, even though I do think they're gonna come after him. Remember, they already opened him up with a case. And see, one of these cats don't understand. When they find you not guilty the first time, don't mean they're not gonna come after you the second time. And Kanye said something very peculiar recently because of everything he says. But he said that, yeah, he is. He said, don't sign to a drug dealer's label. So I was like, oh, okay. I've never cared for Jay Z. I never got the hype. I like a few songs. I might even be bumping girls, 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 girls. I like a couple of his songs. But I just always thought he was snaky. Snaky. No way of saying sneaky, but snaky. So, and it's mighty convenient. He don't know R. Kelly and he don't know Diddy no more. Okay. Yeah, I was talking about him. Her, yeah, yeah. But if I don't have to hear neither one of them, I don't lose no sleep. Anyway, Ted, do you like the Jada Kiss and Fat Joe show? I saw a clip. What is it? A clip that was on pause, but I was too scared to turn it on. I ain't turn it on. Jada Kiss should have been one of the baddest rappers ever too. I figured as much. That's why I didn't mess with. See, I mess with Cam and Mace. They be cracking me up. They be having some funny lines on there. I laugh at them cats, but I ain't touching no snitch, and I ain't touching a cat that's trying to act like he's in 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And Jada, cause Jada, cause I like his skills. I'm going to. I just got caught up with something. I will, because I meant to do that. I wrote it down. I end up doing my videos and stuff, and I'm gonna check it out. Because Nick Wrongs isn't that bad when he ain't slurping LeBron's. He had a couple interesting takes that I saw. I will definitely look that up. Poll question, good. What did he say about the Knicks? Well, you don't even have to be around to see his effect on people to realize that you. Let me just answer that in a minute. You talking about Rick Carlisle for Indiana? You don't have to realize that Beyonce is not dominating it like that. If you see old footage of Michael, um, you can tell it was something different. You can just tell. It's like certain things that you see that you can just feel. The energy's different. There's nothing out here now that people break their necks to. They can like a Beyonce, they're not loving it like that. She's big for she's big in a way that's an it thing, but it's not a thing that it'll never be not like Michael Jackson's situation. That was a whole different thing. Well, see, that's all subjective, Charlene. I mean, I don't feel she's one of the greatest. I think she's good. I think she's a strong entertainer who has a charisma and a personality, and she can sing. But I don't look at her. I think as a live, I'll say this from an R&B black crossover performer, she's the most important the last 25 years. I'll give you that. But do I look at her as somebody that's got the catalog and all that? What did Kid Rock say about it? Was he still talking about the Super Bowl show? Because I remember he had so much to say. Because he needs deep down, he wants some of that. That's what it's about. Kid Rock been looking at her, and he probably mad because she had Post Malone on the record. That's all they were. He's such a beady eyed redneck. Hit Turkey just crying in his beer. Rick Carline gonna be tough. I mean, if he wins another ring, that's a heck of impressive because he would win with the team he originally thought. Yeah, that's his way of crying for it. He'd probably be like, "All that woman, I sure could." Because after he got through with Pamela Anderson, and I forgot who else it was, it kind of, you know, drink so many beers and he ain't got nothing else to look forward to. So he'd probably be all wounded. That was hilarious. Brown pecan had me rolling. We didn't see that coming. Nobody saw that coming. No, she wouldn't give him the time of day though. She'd probably tell Whitlock if he lost about 80 pounds, put some bass in your voice. He got a son? Whose son? Whose son? You ain't talking about Whitlock. I know you ain't talking about Whitlock. You gotta be talking about Kid Rock. Whitlock ain't got no son. That would be like a wow. Yeah, oh yeah. He got a daughter too. So Jody Watley's daughter and him. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I know that. Which goes to show you that just because you have relations and stuff don't mean that you can't be planning. So don't read a whole lot into that. Because this dude acts real backwards. He acts real backwards. Oh, well, I think the Confederate flag and the attitude kind of did it too. when he was hitting that can about the was it the beer because of the Transformers, you know. So if he's talking about her as an artist, that's fair. If he's just talking about because of her stances as a political or how she feels as a black woman, then he need to shut up. But we talking musically, yeah. I mean, that I think that's what Ted was talking about more about the personal. You're talking about as an artist. What's the few points he had? Tell me the few points he had. I want to know because I don't look at him as no great artist to be bashing nobody. Think he can play okay. He was a culture bandit. Do y'all know that? Originally, Kid Rock was a rapper. Oh yeah, but that just means he mad because Post Malone got to do a duet with her. Um, she had a window. Um, she did stick to music. She didn't get into acting. She tried. She what happened was she just had a breakdown, and she still put out music. It's just that she had a breakdown. Britney was dominant for a minute, and then she succumbed. You know, and then they replaced her with the Katy Perry's, with the Rihannas, with the Gagas, and all that. No, because she don't have the same trajectory as Madonna. She had a movement, but Madonna kept hit songs coming. Madonna was driven. Britney could have been bigger, but she wasn't as driven as Madonna. Madonna was driven. I saw Madonna be like nonstop and just go at it. Could have been big though, because there ain't much to his talent. That's why he's getting exposed. He tried to go country, and that thing went Reynolds rap. Yeah. I'm taking the Pacers. Everybody wants the Knicks to win, but I think the Pacers is the most dangerous team. I'm telling you, Rick Carlisle got them cats. Halliburton, I'm telling you, they blew those games against Boston last year, and you see where they are this year. I'm telling you, the Pacers. I would think now if the Knicks beat them, I ain't got no problem with that. But I just think that Brunson and Cat they wear themselves so thin. The Pacers ain't gonna make those kind of mistakes that Boston's making. I'm telling you. No, she doesn't have Madonna. She doesn't have those songs. She had a hit run. Madonna had a hit career. Madonna was peaking prime from '83 to '94. Britney, I want to say probably from about '98 to about '04, and then it just she had the pulse though, and she had the look. She just couldn't keep it, going, and so she cracked down. She broke down. So I mean, if the Knicks go, they go. But I just looking at the eyeball test, the Pacers are like the most dangerous team I see remaining. Yeah. Well, she's also influenced by Michael Jackson too, and Prince too, and Nick Jagger and David Bowie. And there were other influences there, the black influences. She had to be influenced by Donna Summer and Diana Ross too. Motown was an influence on her. Marvin Gaye had to. I know what they say from the pop aesthetic. They don't talk about that though. She do though. She do. Excuse me. Because she's in white magazines and situations, and they're not trying to ask that. So she's not counting to come up like she was back then. She played that role to a T when she debuted. That's why I don't really pay no attention because I know the real. Seeing her back in the day, but it doesn't sell to mention your real size though. Mhm. Yep. She plays corporate, and she's not even caring no more. Last time I seen her, she's dancing with the boyfriend in Italy. She don't care no more. She getting her bag. She didn't move into retirement. She ain't really even trying to make moves. She might do a little tour, but it's it's not the same. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. If you got the money, you could probably donate, and she probably do it for you. You know how that's not gonna end well. It's not gonna end well. It's not going to end well because it's got all the makings of a gutter ball. She's only using him for the money, for the notoriety, and she's hoping, you know, she can cash him out. That's what it looked like. And if you're going to those great lengths to do something like that, has this earring be lost its shine compared to Jordan? That's an interesting question because you have LeBron and you have Steph Curry, which it doesn't get enough shine. It should be debated more. That should be more debated than the Jordan era. Where'd you see that at? I hope not. But they're gonna trade him for John Morant, which wouldn't be a bad fit. But then that's one low market. Mm, him and Wimby would be interesting, but they need a point guard. De'Aaron Fox has to play better. They got Memphis, if a replacement for him for Ja would actually be interesting because they're not that far off from Memphis. They just need somebody fresh to come along. They're not that far off. I think I already told you though, the Rockets, the Warriors, and who else could use them out west? Mm, yeah. I think the Warriors in Houston and Dallas would be interesting for him. But no to those two. That's kind of how I'm looking at them. I wouldn't see him going to no Grizzlies, and I couldn't see him going to the Spurs unless Pop was there. I didn't hear that. Anyway, oh yeah, thanks for all the likes. People coming with the poll question. Thank you for coming through, defending champ, not making a sensation. Hey, it's parody this, so that's what Adam Silver was saying. So nothing is guaranteed on paper, but reality is two different entities. Thanks for more likes coming up in the poll. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, I think they got caught being cute and not finishing. That's what happened. Yeah. They need to let that coach walk. And they got their own version of Luka Doncic. His name is Joe Burrows. They need to get him in shape by the first four games. That's waiting till you get to week 7 or 8. We're gonna see. He better hurry up and make some noise because he's almost getting forgotten. That's the least they can do. Yeah, Hendrickson. I just like I said before, they just pretty much feel that they can, you know, but their problem is gonna be on their line. It's gonna be their defense. Yeah, well, he been around folk. You know him and Angel Reese are cool. He been around folk. Joe's cool. If they come in with the right mindset, if they come in with the mindset that they know how deep they are with their talent, because every time they win, they have a depth of talent. Uh, Imagery, yes, but far as acting, no. But they didn't have many choices. But Hallie was a moneymaker. Yeah, the Eagles could repeat. I don't see why they can't come out the NFC. If nothing else, do I see the Eagles? I already said, yeah, I think the Eagles can do it. They should be able to, because I mean they're one of the four best teams in the NFC. So they got a young coach, a young prime quarterback, receiver. They got and their defense. So well, shoot, do you think Vanessa Williams is too? Except Vanessa Williams is more Josephine Baker than she's Dorothy Dandridge. Dancing with the Bananas. It's a different hit, but Hallie got the role because Janet Jackson got white ball. Yeah, if they get a receiver, they get the offensive line worked out, they can do things and just play ball with no pressure. I do believe he'll win another ring or two for his careers through. Chris Broussard style. Nah, we need you to reveal who you are. Give me your horses. Oh, it's anonymous. Nah, I think he left. He was just a rental. He dropped that one pass when it was that third down, and if he'd catch that ball, I'm not saying he'd come back in the game, but it would have been a lot closer. It was right before halftime. Yeah, well, they get the real tea. The thing is that if you're a beat writer and you're doing your job, you'll definitely get to hear and see things. Mm. Well, if it means something, it's one thing, but again, it all depends. Well, he's older, and I hope the Bills don't get him because he's older. It's not one thing if you get that guy 5, 6 years in his career, but you're year 11, 12, 13. I mean, you'll get a glimpse of what it was. He might could still take someone to the house, but he's gonna be folks gave away Julio Jones. They probably think he couldn't do nothing with him. That's all. What's up, TSP? You're right. Well, Julio Jones did get busted. I mean, when he got, well, I forgot where he was last at, but they probably receivers are dependent are not are they're not the way it once was. It's not the way it once was, and they weren't gonna win nothing, so they did him a solid. I had to pick out those two. Um, social number 21, but that's another story, another video. I liked Julio a lot, but when they didn't win that Super Bowl, that was why he became expendable. Wasn't his fault, but mm, what's happening? I don't know. And we don't have no smoke alarms in here, so please, please, please don't draw no attention. If they're gonna retire Julio Jones, they'll probably retire Dion's. I don't know what they're gonna do in Atlanta. I mean, they choked away a game, so and they ain't really recovered since then. Now Michael Penix is gonna be interesting. You asking me about D Hop or Stephon for career is D Hop. Well, yeah, by all means, when you do, let me know. I welcome it. I saw you on Blue Sky too. But yeah, I did those videos. Yeah, I saw it. I seen the one with OJ and Elvin Hayes, and I saw part of the Gilmore. I didn't see the Francesi, but I do know that Francesi hooked on with something. I think on the bus there when he was playing. Yeah, I remember that one. The one in '88 was him and OJ, and Elvin Hayes was interesting. Yep. Artist Gilmore was finishing up with the Bulls. Jordan caught him too late. Like Francesi, yeah. See what time we got. Appreciate everybody coming through today. Dang, show did. Hope everybody having a good day and staying cool. Uh, NBA TNT. I do like Wiles on Fox, but NBA TNT, and that's it. Because those guys give you knowledge. They funny, entertaining, and they personality. I like Wiles, somewhere between Wiles and Charles Barkley. Anyway, glad everybody's coming through today. Probably be on tomorrow, probably around this time because I gotta make some stops and come around this time. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I'd have to say. Sports personalities don't quite hit the same in the sports TV shows as lame Jews. Let's see if this thing is going. Yeah. Okay. I think people have kind of gone AWOL. We'll see. He got kind of quiet, so it's okay though. I will definitely be back tomorrow. Appreciate everyone taking the poll and stopping through. And thank you, TSP. 67% saying yes. That's kind of close. I guess people don't think Cleveland was fraudulent. I don't know. Sometimes you lose to a bad team, bad matchup, but I don't know. I mean, it just seems a bit hokey that they keep humming at that. It's always the background. I don't care about that other stuff. I think name brand don't can sell you anything, but it's always about the character. Well, it's just a few factors. It's you know, but for me, yeah, you are smart. You have some good questions that you ask. Some good questions because it makes you think. But I think the background of a company. So if you're in a place that isn't safe, you're gonna be waiting too. He ain't that delusional. Easy, easy. Maybe that's why McAfee wants out of this. So you don't have to worry about that turkey sitting up there holding him hostage. I don't know. Nobody is gonna touch him. I think he just ain't get the message. You got sacked by your own behind 2 years ago, and then you get knocked out. Nike got Michael Jordan, and some people will buy what they want to buy. I can't really, again, they buy what they want to buy. It's all about how it gets marketed. And do what? What? And do what? What's he would do in Dallas? He too old. They're not gonna touch him. If he goes to the Cowboys, that would be hilarious. That's how I know Jerry Jones done flip. Don't give him no ideas though. Don't give him no ideas though. Appreciate everyone that's taking the poll and the likes. We really had a great day. I got about 4 more minutes, and I will be back tomorrow. So I'll be here for 3 more minutes today. No, but wishful thinking. He had a good situation with the Jets. How'd that turn out? They got to have an offensive line to protect him. If he gets hit, they in trouble. Anyway, doing good today though. Doing real good today. Time does go by fast. I just, okay, I'm gonna call it a day. I think we done hit pretty good. I will be back tomorrow. Appreciate one that came through. And if you want to chat tomorrow, I'll be back around tomorrow until the same time. Appreciate everybody. Great to see some familiar faces. Good conversation. Did great today. So I'll catch you. And I appreciate you again out then. Just take time to tell everybody come through. A lot going on. A lot of stuff you don't want to, blow up and nothing like that. They to your psychic, So just keeping yourself together and all like that, Appreciate everything. Mm-hmm. No, that's not gonna be no triplets though. I had to laugh. That's why I can't deal with delusional Dallas Cowboy fans. Cause that ain't gonna happen. Nope, 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 nope. Yeah, coming off a Super Bowl as anti, yeah. Let's see. Anyway, final tally on this Cavaliers thing is 67% yes. So it's kind of surprising. I thought it'd be higher. Anyway, we gonna and Ted, I'm gonna start doing that black fatigue thing. I gotta do that before I head out. So thanks, man. I'm on it. All right, catch y'all. Peace. The best. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Stay woke. Stay free. I'm out.